Let us get right into it. I had my fucking presentation up there ready to go, but it took my words off. It took my letters off for some goddamn reason. So we gonna get into it. Let me see what I'm gonna pull up first. Cause it's been a motherfucking minute. I know you niggas still out there under mind control with this religion shit. I know you still out there under mind control with this religion shit. Hold up. With this Christianity shit that's been having a hold on us for thousands of motherfucking years, and y'all just can't motherfucking let it go. Y'all can't just let it motherfucking go. We're gonna get off this mundane shit, though. We're gonna get off this motherfucking mundane shit. We're gonna get off this motherfucker. At the same time, we still not knowing who the fuck we is. We can't fathom us being chaos gods. You feel me? Whatever cloning they talk about doing, they can't do it without us because we the ones with the motherfucking stem cells. The reason plasma centers set up everywhere because they want our plasma. They want our platelets. They don't want us to know we can harness all of this energy, this energetic network that's around us. From nature to water, the etheric realm, the cosmos. They don't want us to know exactly who we are. So they want to keep us with the bullshit fools that got STDs and all type of HIV and herpes and different shit like that in us, not knowing we can't fathom that we are from the cosmos. We can't even fathom that. That's why we see people thinking that these deadly floods and then all of this is it's the government. When in actuality, the planet is awakening just like the vibration is rising just like we rising. And we don't want to get into the different pyramids, the ones over here in America, pyramids everywhere. Like the Khufu pyramid on the Giza plateau, how it has chambers and they point to particular constellations. And the reason they point to the constellation and how they talk about the star Sirius. How all these goddamn different portals opening up continuously. Continuously, we receiving high vibrations. You see, niggas so caught up with this entertainment and this music, they can't fathom no type of knowledge. Still sleep. We not knowing at the same time the atmosphere is changing, we changing, the planet's changing, the earth changing, and how the whole heaven realm, everything that's above us is being pushed down. The goes to say the whole fucking stratosphere is lowering. And we got these high vibrational ships that's sitting out there in the atmosphere. And if you vibrate higher enough, you're able to access specific portals that are basically genetically connected to us and the ancestor. You feel me? And how they moved us around and turned every side up, turned everything upside down and moved us around because of these different ley lines and energetic points that our ancestors was accessing. And you can't, and you got NPCs and background people everywhere. We so caught up in the ratchet music and all this bullshit entertainment and can't fathom the concept of these ionized particles, these UVC radiation piercing the atom and it's changing the neutrons and the protons and the electrons. And how our aura field, our magnetic aura is connected. And how basically we are one with the cosmos. You feel me? And how everybody see the whole Bible aspect was to make it seem like it was mind control and make it seem like we're all the same. You feel me? We basically, and why do we have abortion clinics in our area, but they got fertility clinics in their areas? You feel me? In order for a virus to live, a virus is not fully developed. It's not a fully developed cell. It is undeveloped molecule. You feel me? In order for it to exist, it needs to attach to something that's not aware of itself so it can usurp energy and its minerals and material. And they want to hide the fact how much UV radiation is being emitted from the sun and other celestial bodies to our planet, and how it's traveling by nanometers consistently. UVA radiation is basically radiation that hits the skin, which causes people to age, and this is why we grow old. UVB radiation is a form of radiation which is emitted from the sun to our planet. When exposed to a high level of UVB, you can get skin burn, skin cancer, cell disease. The UVC radiation, right before it hits our planet, it gets stopped by the ozone layer, the chemtrail, the magnetic field. Let's not forget how the sun releases solar wind, and that solar wind actually hits the magnetic field and dissipates it. The solar wind having ionized particles, the ionized particles hit the ozone layer and puts holes in the ozone layer, so the UVC can hit the planet. This what we seeing, people that we thought was real being eradicated. And the reason a lot of this shit shutting down and becoming calamity is because, as us carbon melanated non-ether beings, the earth plane no longer provides the type of living that we need on the physical. We moving beyond the physical. You feel me? That's the reason. The reason when I just said the earth plane no longer provides us that type of living, where we wasn't able to manifest what to manifest in a split second. How we had a detailed learning, cosmic memory, cosmic ability to do whatever we wanted to do in this physical realm that we in. Where we was able to go to different planets, different terrariums, live under the motherfucking water, even though we in water as we speak. Live up under the earth. You feel me? We didn't have to eat. You feel me? We was able to have sex on the astral planes. Anything you could think of, we used to do that with the blink of an eye, and we going back to that. What we seeing on what you see on the spiritual level is only an idea. Was not an idea. That's what we was able to do. And what had happened was they slowed down the vibration enough that we became physical matter. Let's show what Mother Nature been doing.
Turning overseas now to the aftermath of this week's devastating floods in Libya. Officials fear up to 20,000 people could be dead in the city of Derna on the Mediterranean. We get more now from CBS's Charlie D'Agata.
Even in desperate search for survivors, a chaotic race to recover the dead. Waterborne diseases from the sheer number of bodies pose a deadly threat to those who survived Monday's catastrophic flooding, now struggling to survive its aftermath. A wall of water and mud several stories high swept away whole neighborhoods, a quarter of the coastal city of Derna. Downed buildings and destroyed cars show the force of the floodwaters unleashed after the collapse of two poorly maintained dams following torrential rains. It's not easy for a man to go through this, said Saad, who lost his home. No one helps you, not even the government. The devastation has been compounded by Libya's civil war, a country torn in two. The UN says countless lives would have been saved if a functioning alarm system and capable evacuation teams were in place and better care of critical infrastructure like those failed dams.
We buried 25 people without knowing who they are or taking any samples. And the families of those people will never know will never know what happened to their children, to their sons, to their daughters, to their wives.
And those.
And what we fail to realize is the reason why we can't come together as a motherfucking people is because y'all love the motherfucking white man too motherfucking much. You love the white man more than you love yourself. And y'all motherfuckers is weak-hearted. You motherfuckers, like General Rossetti said, you motherfuckers got niggeritis and crackatosis. And we're going to continue to see what we've been seeing. Why they got y'all so caught up on bullshit and distractions. You feel me? You niggas still at the club every motherfucking week. You motherfuckers still putting Vaseline on your body when it poisons your skin. Y'all still using the motherfucking Johnson & Johnson baby powder, and they done told you the shit causes cancer. You still feeding your children oatmeal with all the bullshit acid. All the food, the bullshit that blocks the calcium from processing through the body. You still wearing the motherfucking deodorant. Still putting honey in your tea. All the shit that got genotoxins in them. Right, to distract you from your sciences, which is basically your primordial substances. When you see them moving with the black goo, the quark gluon plasma, the primal material melanin, crystalline dew, and you're going to continue to see and be distracted from your own motherfucking self. Still be distracted from your own motherfucking self. Let me play a little bit Mother Nature. Let me draw some sounds in here. Let me draw some sounds in here. Let me drop some motherfucking sounds in here. Hold on, bear with me. Y'all know how I do. I like to run the vibes up. So I don't know nothing but that ratchet music, nothing but that motherfucking trap music. So y'all motherfuckers know. Holla. Holla, holla. Holla.
Hey, V. Line them up.
Not like serious, this shit serious. I'ma do this shit big. I don't give a fuck what they talking about Marco. Go ahead and break down this little physical world that we live in. Cause every time I beat the beat, we gon' need a little cartridge synergy. They ain't gon' really break down other energy. It's a hologram. You see me now? I don't really think to get that. I done brush shit down. I ain't talking Kit Kat. I don't know this astronomical and astrology shit. They ain't with that. Let me get off of that. They don't want to talk that. Want me to talk about a couple more. Looking like a quarter key. Nigga, when I stuck to the spot, I fuck around, fuck more. I ain't even worried about them hoes on the currency. You don't even know that currency. I was surrounded by so many answers. Nigga, how you don't fuck with me like you a street nigga? How you know alchemy? You stand up, nigga, make 'em sit down like you ever be. Y'all let the black woman out this calamity. Not knowing she the grand universal deity. Ain't gonna like, can't fuck with a picture of me. Look, rumors in the street, but I ain't even care to speak. Like me in a hope a nigga don't take it sweet. Ain't nothing over here sweet. Y'all so in love with empty souls, with boobs, not knowing that these motherfuckers is dudes. I feel sorry for your kid.
Shit, like fake bruises type shit. Careful, fellas. Yeah. I called like child services on this one. I called child services on my ex because he pissed me off, and then I was like, yeah, I'm done with this person, whatever, like, you know, cheater, fucking piece of shit, lies about dumb shit. He had kids. I called child services on his ass, and I like fabricated everything and like said certain things, and they like went to the door, and like there was a whole process. Like, I don't even know if the children's aid worker still visits them, but she probably does, because what I said, like the way I AI'd that shit, you know, like real AI shit, like fake bruises type shit. Be careful, fellas. Yeah, pretty crazy. So you fake bruises, you fake shit, and then you just made like an exaggeration story, and then on his kids. Yeah. Like, so then they came. They were like, oh, like, we're seeing stuff that your kids are being abused. You know, you could lose your kids. And I was just like, that sucks. That sucks. Yeah, should have been nicer to me, bitch. I called, like, child services.
See how they operate. The motherfuckers y'all love.
Man to be a
centralized. Because if they do that, they can control both of us, bro. That's not our true position. Right. That's not who we are. You come from Africa, motherfucker. You're supposed to know that shit. Right. We royalty. We royalty. We kings and queens. We gods and goddesses. We're not supposed to be moving on that vibration. The woman to be a whore. They want the man to be a homo.
We all ain't from Africa.
It's your matter of you to fight for it for another reason. Don't fight for it because he's innocent of a molested kid. Let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factual. Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your most high, acknowledge him as your most high God? I would have to. I don't identify with everything he does there, much like I believe most Christians don't identify with everything their God does, because it says their God is a jealous God.
That's why this nigga locked up now. Y'all niggas gonna be the first to be punished.
Upstate New York, when first,
a pedo
touched me,
defending another pedo.
So from 7 to 14, 7 years that I went through this, you know what I'm saying? And that's my story. Would you say there's been over 20 children molested by Dr. York? I would say so. I mean, I would say that it was, if I could confirm people that I could strongly confirm, it'll be about 15 or 20 people. Obviously, if over 15 to 20 people, children were being molested, we have to now say, how come the adults wasn't saying nothing? Shouldn't they be locked up with Dr. York too? How come they're free to testify about it? You understand? The adults were separated from their children. So you had the girls in one house, the boys in one house, the women in one place, the brothers in one place. You had everybody was separated. So it wasn't no house with a family, and then you could recognize when your child is gone. You mean to tell the world that none of these children had enough sense in their mind to go tell their parent that this isn't right? Something, I've been touched sexually, I've been sexually abused. Not one child out of all these children. It could have stopped so long ago if just one child or just one adult. What caused all of this to come out? First, you hear nothing from nobody. You hear nothing from nobody. Then you hear something from everybody, all at the same time. They might not have been the medium to talk to anybody about the situation. Not even their parents. I mean, that's why, of course, I could have talked to her. I could have told my mother. We chose not to. It's not that I chose not to. To really explain it would really take a lot. But I mean, you're not really yourself when you're not, you know what I'm saying? You ain't got esteem. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got no. You know what I'm saying? You can't even face, like, my mother had to, she found out from my sister, and she came to me and asked me about it, and I still really couldn't even tell her. I had to say, well, I had sex with him, he was there. And that was my way of telling her that, yeah, it happened. You know what I'm saying? But that's the initial conversation, and this is like 2 weeks before we left. It was something I was under. I couldn't tell my mom. I didn't tell nobody. It was something that held me to not say nothing. I'm not telling you, don't want nice things. That's not what I'm saying to you. That's the last thing I'm saying to you. But to feed off of the psychological destruction of our people, to make our people believe that you are the end all be all, that you know it all, that you come to you because you have all the answers, and the answers does not lie in each and every last one of us. The answer is right there inside each and every last one of us. You're going to see a whole lot more. More importantly, you're going to start seeing things with these women. These spiritual tarot cards, these talking to the dead people. You understand what I'm saying to you? All that shit there. See, I can go talk to a tree because the tree is actually alive. But I want to know why. Let me ask you a question. This is just being honest here. When people seem to come up or get money, right? And they live in a hood, the first thing that they want to do is buy a house outside of the hood. I got to get away from the hood. There's too much shit going on down here. I don't want to deal with this shit, right? So why would someone that went through some of the most tragic and horrific death motherfucking thing on. Wouldn't I want to be somewhere where it's better than where I'm at, than what I experienced already? Huh? Wouldn't I want to be somewhere? Why would I want to continue to stay there and deal with the people in that environment? You know why? Be mindful who you talking to. That's all I'm saying. Be mindful who you talking to. And any of these tarot cards and dead people tell you that they putting all kinds of shit in your food, in your water, huh? That they still experimenting on your children. Not one of these dead people told you that the most important thing that you should be focusing on right now is the well-being of children. None of these dead people told you none of this shit. None of them. A whole lot more come out. I'm trying to tell you, people, the conscious community have gotten worse than the religious community. They have gotten worse than the religious community. Come on over here, let me wash you with this holy water, and everything gonna be all right. They have gotten worse. And you're gonna see more and more shit come on out of here. More. This is only the beginning. Only the beginning. Because we want fame and fortune. We don't really want to, not one individual that's supposed to be intellectually sharp can dispute the fact that we are in this condition not because of a financial system. We're not in this condition because of a financial system, an economic system, a political system, or a justice system. We're not in this condition because of that. We're in this condition because we are not coaching and emphasizing our children to be with us, to value themselves and to be amongst themselves with us. This is why we are in this condition. We are not in this condition because of the economic system. We are in the condition financially behind because we're playing along with the economic system. But we are in this condition because we are not coaching, teaching, and guiding and raising our children. So I don't want to hear none of that shit about, well, the reason why we're here and the reason why we can't get ahead is because we need better laws. We need better education. We need better political status when it comes. We need better political status when it comes to our people. No, we're not. We in this condition right now because we coach our children to be consumers. We allow a whole other group of species on the planet to teach, guide, and influence our children. That's why we in this condition. That is the number one reason why we are in this condition right now. Because guess what? If we was not to coach our children to play football and basketball, their whole system will start to fall. And you will see how quickly they will get on their knees and beg you. You see? You will see how quickly they come and beg. This is why they want to put an end to brothers and sisters that are talking about health and eating healthy, and they rather poison the food, even the vegan food, the greens, the fruits and vegetables, because without us being sick and going to their medical hospitals to experiment on us so that they can take our blood and convert it into chemical pills, whereas though they can heal themselves, they say, shit, if they start eating healthy, if black people start eating healthy, guess what? We're not gonna be able to experiment on them no more in the hospital. So we need them not to eat healthy. We need to shut down this holistic thing that's going on. You see? That's all it is. This ain't got shit to do with, oh man, we need better judges. We need better courthouses. We need the money. We need the economic system to be fair to everyone. This ain't got nothing to do with that. Point blank and simple. This ain't got shit to do with that at all. We can bankrupt this world instantaneously if we choose to. Because we ain't got to participate in this shit. But we choose to participate in it because we want fame and fortune. We want to separate ourselves from our own brothers and sisters, from our own children. Look at the shadow. Look at the shadow sitting right there on the edge of the cloud. Do you see the shadow? When do clouds cast shadows? Look at the shadow. Come on, man. It's foolishness. Look at the shadow. That's a shadow, people. When do vapor and water cause a fucking shadow, bro? What's wrong with you? People that don't get it, don't worry about it. But, like I said, what I want to say is that there will be more to come. This is only the beginning. There will be more to come that will be exposed for the treacheries and the lies and the deceitfulness that they have been doing to our brothers and sisters in this so-called conscious community that so-called want the best for us, but they want to ride around in Rolls Royces and Bentleys and BMWs and all the fancy shit and take trips and tell you how you ain't got nothing because you ain't doing X, Y, and Z. You done lost your mind. You will see this happen more and more. And guess what? This is the worst time to ever find yourself behind any type of jail or any type of being confined in their prison walls. Because you know why? It's getting ready to pop the fuck off. It's getting ready to pop off. Just so that you know. Been out there.
That boy be talking that shit.
U.S. citizens with different high-tech weapons, currently working on suing the federal government for targeting individual U.S. citizens with different high-tech weapons, including directed energy weapons. The Havana Syndrome, when diplomats in Cuba were attacked with directed energy weapons, was not an isolated event. There are thousands of individuals who claim to be under the same sort of attack, and they have the scars to prove it. As far back as 1976, the technology to remotely alter brainwaves has existed, including voice-to-skull technology that allows the government to directly transmit voices into people's brains. As bad as all this is, it is likely to get much worse. In 2017, Dr. James Giordano gave a lecture on the latest government technologies to target individuals, such as neuroweapons to control brain function and modify memories.
I'm looking to target key individuals who may then be influential to relative aspects of their representative groups. I can affect individuals' brain functions in a variety of different ways, both positively and negatively, by engaging or disengaging nodes networks of the brain that therefore affect their cognitions, emotions, and ultimately their behaviors. Something my colleague Jamie Canton likes to play with an awful lot is the idea of specialized neural operations. And here, once again, we're talking about the use of either drugs and or devices to modify the integrity of brain function that we realize can also modify individuals' perception of time and space. We talked earlier about how these may be used in interrogation scenarios, and this too may be used against individuals to be able to modify their perception of time, their perception of what occurred and what did not, memory modification, etc.
Nanoparticulates that can give an individual a stroke.
So what we're able to do here is infiltrate the brain space with nanoparticulate matter that aggregates in situ, on site in the brain, and does one of two things: either penetrates from the vascular space, gets in through the bloodstream, gets in through the nose, through the mucosa, or infiltrates the vascular space and clogs it. What is the result? What's called a nanoparticulate stroke, or a hemorrhagic diathesis, fancy word, for it's a predisposition to individuals having brain bleeds.
He explains how they can make people sick with an undetectable illness to make them go crazy.
What I'm doing is I'm using a dispersion methodology to be able to infect sentinel cases with a highly morbid condition. These individuals complain. Again, this is a central nervous system condition, so they're complaining of whatever the bug may do. It'll produce some cascade of neurological and neuropsychiatric signs and symptoms. What I've now done is I've got every individual who is diagnostically hypochondriacal, and I've got every individual who's the worried well flooding the public health system, banging on the door. The CDC comes back and says, nonsense, that's not real. I come back and say, that's fake news.
He says they can already control insects.
I infiltrate that bug's nervous system and I control the way it moves. By controlling the way it moves, I control the way it goes. I control its wings pattern. I control where it hovers, where it flies, where it articulates. And what I can also do is I can then couple this to a very, very small scale set of either biosensors or cameras. And what I basically have here is a biodrone. I can go one step further, and I can also impregnate that individual organism, with a very small-scale weaponizable delivery mode. In other words, if I'm using a very, very small-scale such as a very potent organotoxin, or the delivery of a very small level of microbes that we know can either replicate and infect, or is genetically modified to have a very, very high morbidity effect, I can then utilize this not only as a reconnaissance drone, but also as an infiltrative weaponizable drone that can then deliver some payload.
Immediately following the death of Nikola Tesla, Dr. John Trump, an electrical engineer with the National Defense Research Committee of the Office of Scientific Research and Development, and interestingly, President Donald Trump's was called in to analyze the Tesla papers. After only 3 days, John Trump officially concluded that Tesla's work was primarily speculative and did not include workable methods. We are then told that most of Tesla's papers disappeared, but his work most definitely quietly continued. Heavily funded military projects studying the Tesla particle beam are reported, but more interesting than that is the mystery of systems in rotation. Spin. Although everything down to the electron seems to be spinning, there is no official study on the science of spin or rotation. But there are fragments and clues that suggest major governments have been secretly studying the science of rotation ever since World War II, calling it hyperdimensional physics or torsion physics. Bruce De Palma's spinning ball experiment from 1977 is simple enough for anyone to repeat. 2 steel balls are repeatedly launched with equal force. One is spinning, the other is not. The spinning ball consistently flies higher and falls faster than the other. This is in direct violation of both Newton's laws and Einstein's relativity. Modern science cannot account for this energy. The top-secret so-called Nazi Bell project allegedly involved 2 counter-rotating cylinders and produced anti-gravity UFO-like effects. And now the U.S. Navy appears to be going public with this science. They claim to control inventions that change the fabric of reality. A mysterious Dr. Salvatore Cesar Paes has filed 4 patents, of which the U.S. Navy is the assignee. They appear to be technology for what we would popularly describe as UFOs, and they are all based upon harvesting energy from the spinning of electromagnetic fields. These patents look very similar to what whistleblowers claim have been in production for years by manufacturers such as Lockheed Martin Skunk Works. The same UFO-like craft that whistleblowers claim are being prepared to stage a fake alien invasion. After decades of deep misinformation, secrecy, and corruption, why bring this powerful technology out into the open today? The chief technical officer of the Naval Aviation Enterprise claims that the U.S. needs these patents because the Chinese are already investing significantly in these technologies. So are they rolling all this out into the public to prepare us for a space-age war with China? The subtext to all this, of course, is that there is no energy crisis, only more lies and deceit.
I mean, a 9-year-old boy in Gaza is more of a man than a 25-year-old in America. You prolong adolescence to an absurd degree. You don't prioritize maturity, but at the same time, you sexualize your children very early. I mean, you've got like 3rd graders twerking, and singing explicit song lyrics, and then you put that on social media for everyone to see. You're teaching kindergartners about sex, masturbation, about homosexuality and transgenderism. You think that prepubescent children can decide to have their genitals removed before they even know what they're actually for. You put little girls in beauty contests and try to turn them into, miniature Beyoncés and Cardi B's singing about WAP. 12% of 12-year-olds in the U.S. are already sexually active at 12. And that's from a study 10 years ago. So you can expect that the percentage is even higher now. 6.5% of them had actually already engaged in anal sex by the age of 12. The majority of sex offenders in the West victimize children. And they say about 90% of sexual assaults on children are never even reported. So imagine what the real numbers are. No, you have a pedophilia problem in the West. And no matter how much you wish you could, you can't shift that over to us. We're not going to help you justify your sickness. Islam does not approve of this. You don't raise your children the way you don't raise your children.
Pretty crazy.
Hold on, bear with me.
The way we do. I mean, you don't. A 9-year-old.
You see, as the more we rise, the more they need to give us their distractions and desperation moves. This shit falling apart. This shit falling apart day by day. Day by motherfucking day.
Is a little white girl, and as a black man, no, you do not get a race car today. Not with that.
Sorry, I'm late. There was a little slip on the elevator, so I had to take the stairs. Me too. Careful, Dre. Someone's out there setting traps.
I don't understand. Why are you two so afraid of a baby? We don't have the luxury of being helpful because we're instantly seen as threats.
Sorry, I'm late, boss. There's a little white girl in the elevator. Almost had me. I saw my freedom flash right.
I married a monster.
To be fair, as a black man, we can never be too careful.
Remember my first little white girl in an elevator. Did the right thing, son. Proud of you.
You're proud of him?
Damn proud.
Okay, this is insane. What do you think would have happened if you'd helped the little white girl?
Help you find your mom. All right. Do you know what floor she's on?
So, Andre, huh? What were your plans here today?
No, okay.
This one.
On the planet, which means your physiology, your phenotype is altering and changing. So what are we changing into? But this pilot right here had what you call a heart attack while I was or a heart attack while I was in flight. And look at what happened.
Miami news, one of the pilots suffered a medical emergency and did not survive. The flight was diverted. ABC's Victor Kenter tonight on both scares, starting with Houston.
Flight from Miami to Santiago, Chile Monday. There were 3 pilots on board when the flight diverted to Panama. The airline saying the crew tried saving the pilot's life mid-flight. Medical teams standing by when the plane landed, but the pilot died. Latam said that pilot had been with them for 25 years. The cause of death has not been released. And tonight the FAA says they will investigate that Southwest flight over Houston. David?
Major medical breakthrough tonight with doctors.
Now, pause. Now, the reason why I wanted to show you that, not only like I told you, due to the fact that they're going to start experiencing neurological issues and their anatomies are changing, they no longer can use our organs to replace their organs no more. So this is why Elon Musk is doing experimentations with animals, and the reason and the animals that they are experimenting with are the animals that they share their genetic makeup with. You're not going to experiment and use animals that you don't have a direct genealogy connection to. So this is the thing. This is the ignorant part that a lot of people need to stop, especially the eukaryotic cell organisms. This is the ignorant part that a lot of you all need to stop pretending like y'all don't know what the hell is going on, or what your genetic makeup is, and why this man is constantly using chimpanzees, experimenting on pigs and cows. So here we go right here. Listen to this.
In New York, they are calling a landmark step forward in the growing need for donated kidneys. They say they have transplanted a genetically modified pig's kidney into a human recipient, and it is still working 1 month later. Here's ABC's Stephanie Ramos now.
Tonight, a major medical breakthrough bringing us one step closer to using animal organs in humans. Surgeons at NYU Langone announcing they have transplanted a pig kidney into a brain-dead patient. And for the first time, that kidney, genetically modified to better match a human body, has functioned for more than a month without the body rejecting it.
Genetically
the kidney
modified.
appears to replace all of the important tasks that the human kidney manages.
The sister of that patient, 57-year-old Maurice Mo Miller, saying this groundbreaking study is what her brother would have wanted.
He would be proud of the fact that in the tragedy of his death, his legacy will be helping many people live.
The hope is that one day, pig kidneys could ease a dire shortage of organs. More than 100,000 Americans are waiting for an organ, but each year, only about a third will get one. 17 people die each day waiting.
At the end of the day, we have to think about all the people who are dying right now because we don't have enough organs.
Researchers will continue to monitor the kidney for...
Now, pause. Let me let you know this. Right now, her brother was clinically dead because he was brain dead, but he still had functions inside of his organs was still functioning, but he's brain dead. So basically, they keeping him alive on a machine. So anyway, let me just say this to you. The reason why you can use pig organs and merge them and put them inside humans, aka eukaryotic cell organisms, because they have the same genetic sequences. That's why. And this is something that we are turning a deaf ear and a blind to as organic people on the planet. That these people are not us. They were genetically modified and put together inside of a lab. And the animals that they use in order to put them together are here on Earth. And these animals not even older than us. This is the whole issue that we're having. But guess what? The sun is now providing all the proof, because the sun is separating us. And it's going to show, this is why we are in what you call Revelations in Genesis. It's going to show us the truth. It's going to show the organic people of the planet that this is an embarrassment and the joke is on the other species. This is not hatred. So they want to use, when you talk about genetics as racism, it's not racism. It's only one it's only one organic species on the planet. The other species don't have a biological identification to the planet. They don't know where they came from. And so-called black people cannot make people with animal DNA because we do not have animal genetic sequences in our genes. It's point blank and simple. We have antigens that sit on the outside of our cells, but inside the cell and the nucleus where their DNA sits at, it's in the nucleus is where their DNA sits at, sends information to the RNA to develop the structure of the cell. And on the outside of our cells cannot change our cellular structure. Pause. All right, here we go right here. How much DNA do we share with pigs? 98%. DNA similarities between pigs and human beings is 98%. Pause. And this is why you can take their organs from pigs and implant them inside their anatomy and they can function, but they can't take our organs no more because we're no longer as densified. See, everything is becoming less dense and less dense. everything is not being held together. So those gene sequences that are no longer matching on a micro level all the way to a macro level will no longer stick together. See, it's like putting a car together using Honda, Mercedes, BMW. No, it's not going to be that. From here on out, it's going to be all BMW or all Honda. That's what it's going to be. You're not going to be able to use different parts from other vehicles to make one vehicle. So here we go right here. How much DNA humans shares with rats? Chimpanzees are our closest relatives as a species, and we share at least 98%. Why is this important? This is where you have Elon Musk, what you call nanotech, practicing on chimpanzees, trying to transfer consciousness inside of chimpanzees, and the experiment is failing dramatically. The punishment that these chimpanzees are going through. But again, you share 98% of the genetic code with a chimpanzee. Of our genome, chimpanzees are our closest relative as a species, and we share at least 98% of our genome with them. That's not us. Our feline friend shares 90% of homologous genes with us. Now, homologous just mean, like I told you before, on a micro, with a protein enzymes and amino acids, the molecules start to develop. This is what homologous mean, that the cellular structure is the same when it comes to worms, rats, chickens, cows. All of that stuff is on a micro level. When the cell is just developing, it's all the same. They all have similarities. That's why they can use that genome to merge it together, fuse it together, and make what we call the living organism, the human being we call today. And this is where I say eukaryotic cells, mixed genetic information from other species to make one living species. There is nothing natural on the planet that no two natural animals. Like, for example, you're not going to see a zebra and a giraffe trying to reproduce with one another. These are two natural animals on the planet that will not reproduce with one another. Point blank and simple. Our feline friends share 98% homologous genes with dogs is 82%, 80% with cows, 69% with rats, and 67% with mice. Pause. Now here we go, my people. Now listen to the lie on why they try to explain why these people no longer reproduce with chimpanzees. Here we go right here. But the truth and a lie, all of the further apart two animals are in genetic terms, the least likely they are to produce valuable offspring. Like I told you, no two natural animals on the planet that doesn't share the same genetic code is going to reproduce with one another. They'll actually kill each other before they reproduce with one another. At this point, humans seem to have been separated from other animals for far too long to interbreed. Really? I'm confused. How did we separate from these animals when we got them in zoos? They all around the planet. I'm confused. How did we separate from these animals to all of a sudden now they not interbreeding with them? You can't interbreed with them because they won't get pregnant by you. Won't get pregnant by them because you are two different species, and the eukaryotic cells is a multitude of species genetic information put together to make one living organism. We diverge from our closest instinct relative, the chimpanzees, as many as 7 million years ago. Now hold on for 1 second. You can't track the eukaryotic cell organism on this planet no further back than maybe, I'm gonna say maybe 200,000 years, if that, because this entity been playing God on this planet for quite some time, creating other animals and other species on this planet. But however, understand, you cannot trace no other species, all other races, you can't trace them back no more than 6,000 to 8,000 years on the planet. And what you call the human state, now you can go back maybe 30 to 40,000 years with Neanderthals, but you can't go back when they're in what you call the Homo sapien state, what you call the human state today. You cannot trace them back no further than 6,000 to 8,000 years. And they make an excuse on why these people no longer can interbreed with these animals. And the bottom line and the fact is that they could never do it because they have one thing, even though they share 98% of their DNA with the chimpanzee, they have other animal genetics. And this is where all STDs and viruses come from. Right here, if black people was just to sleep with black people and no other species, we wouldn't have any viruses and diseases. This is a direct result of blood that you shouldn't be mixing. Abundant.
I don't know if y'all know, but some of y'all friends is secretly recruiting y'all to be a fucking lesbian. Some of y'all friends got y'all in the lesbian boot camp training, and y'all don't even know it. I notice when women speak about good things of men, single women get online and they call them a pick-me. And they be like, girl, you're doing too much for that man. Couldn't be me. They don't want you to do nothing nice for a man. But every weekend they calling you up so y'all can have girls night. Or you up around lunchtime so y'all can have mimosas. They want to get your ass drunk. And so then y'all start taking pictures to make it look like y'all goddamn couple. But if you used to do that with a man, they'll call you a pick-me. But every weekend they hit you up. Watch them girlfriends that's hitting you up every weekend. And then they take pictures, making it look like y'all lovers and shit. And they got y'all in fucking lesbian boot camp training. I'm telling y'all, next thing you know, gonna get you drunk, they'll be fucking you. I don't know if y'all know, but some of y'all friends is secretly recruiting y'all to be a fucking lesbian. Some of y'all friends
got you in lesbian boot camp. Got y'all all hook, line, and sinking. And a lot. Abundance, my people. Gratitude, and abundance. Now, before I go any further, my video is not racism. My video does not promote racism, and it does not promote hate. My video actually promotes unity amongst your own species. That's exactly what my video promotes. Now, I never knew that speaking about genetics, DNA, which accordingly comes from the creator, God. Your genetic come from the creator. I never thought at any point in time that would be considered racist because there is a group of people on a planet have genetic material from different animals on the planet in order to make one living organism. The argument about skin color is primitive. And when I say primitive, I mean it's really primitive because your skin color is determined by the DNA that's inside of your genes. Excuse me, it's determined by your genes that's inside of your DNA. I had it backwards. Your skin color is determined by the genes that makes up your DNA. So your phenotype comes from genetics. So your phenotype is your hair, your eyes, your skin, your physiology, the way your organs are placed inside of your body. All of that comes from the genes that's inside of your DNA. So this is about skin color. The only people that continue to try to make it out to be racist and about skin color are people that have undeveloped brains. And when you have an undeveloped brain, you can only gravitate to things that fit your narrative. You can't think beyond this. You can't think beyond what's in front of you because you are ashamed and guilty. You are ashamed of who you are and guilty. I have a guilty conscience about the bloodline that you are attached to that did nothing but genocide across the entirety of this planet. So again, genetic is not racism. And here we go right here. This is sunscreen being put on, but you're looking at it through a ultraviolet light. You're looking at sunscreen. You're looking at these two, what you would call white women that is putting sunscreen on, but you see what the sunscreen look like through a ultraviolet light. When you squeeze the sunscreen out the tube without the ultraviolet light, it looks like a white cream or a clear cream. But when you place it on your skin underneath the ultraviolet light, because this is how the sun looks at you as well, it's black. You're literally putting black tar on your body. Now, the difference between sunscreen and hydrocarbon, which so-called black people is what so-called black people have, and hydrocarbon is produced by melanin, neuromelanin. Only neuromelanin produces hydrocarbon. So the difference between this hydrocarbon that encapsulate my soul, which is the sun, and and sunscreen, is that my hydrocarbon absorb the sunlight. It absorb magnetic frequencies. That sunscreen is designed to block out ultraviolet light and protect your skin. I don't need protection from the sun. And this is a scientific, a biological, genetic fact. So this is not about skin color. This is about the genes that make up your DNA, the genes that are inside of your DNA that makes up your phenotype, which again is your hair, your eyes, your skin, your melanin that you possess, your physiology, your organs and their placement. This is about the genes that's in your DNA that makes up your phenotype. This is not about skin color. So those that keep screaming skin color have a guilty mind, and they want to detach themselves from their own genetics, and they consider it racist when you speak about the differences and why so-called black people don't possess any animal DNA, but everyone else has animal DNA to make up a living organism. So stop it. How could you be ashamed of what God made you of? That doesn't make any sense. Or unless we have two different gods, which Zechariah Sitchin spoke about, that there was a group of extraterrestrials that came to Earth and seeded a group of people. And this is one of the things that they wasn't allowed to do was reproduce. But what happened was when they broke us spiritually, when they disconnected us from the sun and started getting us to be densified, we started eating all their food. We started performing some of their characteristics, the hatred that we have for one another. We became hardened. So we became detached from the solar system, which is spirituality. And then in the process of that, we were being raped and we were interbreeding. So we can cut the bull crap. All of this information is coming out, and there's nothing that no one can do about it. Pause.
There's a lot of set apart black people that know the truth. In fact, probably a lot more set apart black people know the truth. In fact, I know they are, than white people. But there's a few of us white people that's in on the truth, and we know that most of the black people they're not on the narrow path. So they don't know the truth. And they're coming for vengeance. And Yah has even stirred them up a lot worse than what they normally are. Yah, the Creator's reaching there and stirred the pot. He's made them even more mad at the white people. So you better get out of the cities. You better get out of the big cities if you're white. And there's probably a few black people that might get on here and give you a warning too, because they're in the know. Pay. A lot of the horrific things that was done to the dark-skinned people's been hidden. So those things are going to come to life because they're going to become real for the opposite race. Everything turns upside down and backwards at some point. What a time to be white, huh? Take on it. Man, I mean, all people's lives, it seemed like the black people wanted to be white. There's going to come a time when the white people's going to want to become black. Very, very, very soon. I'll guarantee you that 95, after about 2 or 3 months in hell, you're probably going to wish you was black. Because the blacks are going to rule.
Pause. Now, again, what he stated was correct. These black people, so-called black people out here that wanted to be white, that wanted to live like these white folks, wanted to use Stockholm syndrome and separate themselves because they get money, they got a paycheck, you know what I'm saying? They got a career, they got a job, they got an acting career, they get millions of dollars. You have the slightest idea what's taking place on this planet. You have the slightest idea. You have listen, you have, all I can say is this, is be ready. Be ready. The same way that you perform for that white man, you're gonna perform for the real divine brothers that's gonna be walking on this planet. Believe that when the dust settles, because like I told you, when it comes down to the one apple and the one water on the table, we're gonna find out how much you got a bodyguard. We're gonna find out how much that money means something. We're gonna find that out real soon, real soon. You don't see how the universe is setting this all up for everybody on the planet. More importantly, our people. See, the 7-year tribulation ain't got nothing to do with the artificial race. It ain't got nothing to do with other people. The 7-year tribulation was for us. Trust me when I tell you. And it's going to show itself real soon. Believe that. Everyone that think everyone that's using Stockholm syndrome, everyone that came up off the psychological destruction of so-called black people, every last one of us, even our own people that came up off of us, capitalizing off of our destruction. You are going to deal with a whole lot of shit, and Mother Universe is going to give you your karma back. Believe me when I tell you, it is what it is. And he ain't got to say that the fact that there's a lot of things going to come to the light, that the genocide, the scientific experiments, the medical experiments on women and children over the years, especially during slavery, without anesthesia, any type of painkillers or nothing, all the stuff that they were doing to us, all that stuff, you have decided our memory is coming back. That's why it's only the real ones see the light, because they know that they are the light. This is what I'm telling you. A lot of people think I'm gonna get powers, I'm gonna be moving around like Superman and Black Adam. No, you're not. No, you're not, because your heart is not in the right place. This ain't about destroying a physical being. This is about destroying the psychological being that's sitting inside of your mind, that's having you believe that you are actually a French toast human, and that you literally couldn't work together with your brother and sister and build your own community up and police your own community, and you allow another species to teach, raise, and guide your own children. This is what this is about. This ain't about physically killing somebody. This is about mentally growing. And if you ain't there yet, ain't nowhere in the world that the universe is going to so-called bless you with what you would call that active immortality gene. If you can forget about it, and I promise you that. I value and appreciate you all. But again, like I told you in the beginning of the video, the sun isn't racist. You can look at genetics and DNA, biology and chemistry or neurology. You can look at that as racist all you want. But the bottom line is that we are the organic species, not of the planet, but the entire cosmos. And Earth is just one of our stumping grounds. And when we came here, the greatest test was to strip Superman and Superwoman of their immortality ability and their memory, and make them rely on one another, so that way that they can grow as a nation. But what happened is we got separated. So this is the best time to show who you truly are, to cement yourself amongst the stars and not the stars down here in Hollywood, and get in front of this TV, this 1 hour monster down here. But you don't realize you on TV the whole entire time. I value, appreciate you.
What are the odds?
We had a new strain of COVID and a plan for a new vaccine. And in fact, in just the last few hours, Karine Jean-Pierre says we are going to be pushing a new vaccine starting in September. I didn't have time to get that soundbite, but great. So let's look at what we've got to deal with. Now, the CDC says that this new variant is more likely to infect you if you got the vaccine previously.
Wait, repeat that.
I'm going to show it to you. This means that if you've been vaccinated for COVID, you are more prone to be infected by the new strain of COVID. This is effing crazy, you guys. It's the craziest thing. It is on the CDC's website, and I'm going to show it to you. So many people are going to wonder why they do that. Why we take that vaccine, meaning we're going to get the next one. We're more likely. So hold on to your hat. Now, here's the president on vacation in Lake Tahoe saying he has asked Congress to fund a new vaccine with your taxpayer dollars. Mr. President, can you say anything about the uptick of COVID cases and the new variant?
Yes, I can. Matter of fact, I signed off this morning on a proposal we have to present to the Congress a request for additional funding for a new vaccine that is necessary, that works. And tentatively, not decided finally yet, tentatively, it is recommended that, would like to be recommended that everybody.
We were away.
So pause real fast. So the all the other vaccines that they had on the market that claim that was that get rid of COVID or prevent you from getting COVID, you're telling me they didn't work. So now they're creating another one that they're stating that this one will work and it will be mandated for everyone. I already told you between August and the end of October of this year, be prepared. Matter of fact, even going forward, August this year, going all the way to next year, but definitely starting August of this year, going into the end of October this year, I told you already that this shit was going to start to kick back off. And then so much information has already came out about what the vaccine is doing to when it comes down to heart, which is called myocarditis. So everyone is understanding that the vaccine is weakening the muscles of the heart, and people are having cardiovascular issues. Now, I'm not a doctor, nor am I a surgeon. I'm not a cardiomyopatist. I'm not any of that. But again, clearly, all of this information is coming out while our youth are having so much heart trouble. But I want to say this to you. They already have this already planned out and letting people, they already had this plan. They know people are going to go crazy regarding this shot. No one is taking, even the people that already took it, do not want to get the next one. So let me pause this for you 1 second.
Everyone's being distracted about Donald Trump and his mugshot like that's going to change something. Let me show you something what they're not showing on all of these mainstream media outlets. Listen.
In a move aimed at growing the bloc's clout, leaders of the BRICS group of developing nations have decided to invite 6 new countries to become members of the group. South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said on Thursday,
"We have decided to invite the Argentine Republic, the Arab Republic of Egypt, the Federal Democratic Republic of Ethiopia, the Islamic Republic of Iran, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates to become full members of BRICS. The membership will take effect from the 1st of January 2024.
Expansion could also pave the way for dozens of interested countries to seek admission to BRICS, which is currently made up of Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa.
On today, August the 24th of 2023, BRIC invites 6 countries to join a bloc in a major expansion. The 5 BRIC nations account for over 40% of the world's population. Do you hear me? 40% of the world's population, and the bloc is viewed as a counterweight to the U.S.-led global economic order. The list of the invitees is significant as it includes some of U.S. allies, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and also Iran, which is heavily sanctioned by the U.S. You people not understand that all of these other nations and countries are ditching the U.S. dollar. Also, on top of that, United States debt ceiling is currently at $32.7 trillion in debt. Do you hear me? And the masses are more focused on the damn mugshot of Donald.
Pause. I had already told you all this was happening, and it's happening because of the cycles of the sun. You think that you were really born on a planet that you have to earn to live on here. Water, fruits, vegetables, everything come from the earth. Electricity, gold, copper, coal. All of this stuff comes from the earth. Heat comes from the earth, and you actually have to earn a living on the planet. And you understand the word earn is like an urn where you put ashes in to live on a planet that provides everything for you. Now, pause. Let me go into another video.
During one of the upcoming solar eclipses. I mean, how rare is that? That just doesn't happen. We have 2 solar eclipses that are going to occur here in the span of less than 8 months. During that time frame, we've got 2 comets plunging towards the sun. This is one of them that very well could be visible during this eclipse on April 8th. And looking at the path of totality over here at timeanddate.com, this is the eclipse of April 8th of 2024. I've zoomed in on Dallas, and you can see the dark line in the center is the path of totality. Austin, Waco, Dallas, Tyler, San Antonio, and other areas in that dark orange line in the center of that map. And here's a larger map of the path of totality. In fact, the path of the eclipse right here. If you're anywhere in this shaded area, you'll be able to see at least part of the eclipse. If you're on this dark orange line right here, you should be, if conditions are favorable, no clouds, you'll be able to see the entire eclipse. And they're calling this the Great North American Eclipse because it goes through Mexico, the United States, and parts of eastern Canada. So if you see your location in the dark orange on this map, you can see a total eclipse, and you might also see a comet during the eclipse. How about that? That is something that definitely doesn't happen very often. And once again, over here at timeanddate.com, this is what the eclipse is supposed to look like during totality on April 8th of 2024. And there's an outside chance that you might be able to see this comet right here, Comet 12P, during the total eclipse. I mean, this one here could definitely be one for the record books. And here's a map of the path of the eclipse going through Colorado, New Mexico, once again through Texas. If I'm not mistaken, I think San Antonio is going to be in the middle of both of these total eclipses. This one here, again, being in October of this year, October 14th. Here's the path of the total eclipse, and you can see it dips down through North America, Western North America, down through Central America, and down through South America. And zooming in a little bit closer to see some of the cities in the path of totality. There, once again, San Antonio. San Antonio is going to be in the path of both of these total eclipses. Albuquerque, just to name a few of the larger cities, Odessa.
Pause. So again, like I told you, my people, this is about the cycles of the sun. So what's happening is right now, because both of these eclipses, meaning that we're moving into another dimension, and in this dimension that we're going to move into is going to be higher frequencies, higher photon light, higher cosmic rays, beta, gamma rays. That's what's going to be coming to the planet. So these people are already having problems with synthesizing the sun. So now that we're getting closer to the sun, because we're being poured to the center of the cosmos, which scientists have already admitted this, that we are getting closer to the sun, that in the ozone layer is being removed. How ineffective it was and how harmful it is. And then now you're going to kick another one you're going to cook up another one and think people are going to accept that. And this is where people are going to shut down, fight back against their government. This is where all the chaos and havoc is going to start. Nobody's going back inside their house. Nobody is going to get locked back down. And no one is going to be forced to take something and put it out of their body. This is all destruction by design. We're paying attention to. They got you paying attention to all of that stuff, but not understanding that all these countries are powerhouses. Just Russia and China alone can destroy America. Powerhouses that are joining together. Iran, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, India, all of these countries, Africa, are now away from the American dollar. They're going to collapse the dollar, and food prices are going to go through the roof. It's going to be riot. It's going to be chaos in the street. And within the first 6 to 9 months, they already stated it's going to be over 160 million people dead. You got to at least have 6 to 8 months supply of food inside of your home, my people. I've been telling y'all this for the last several years, and it's not something like prophesied. You're not supposed to live the way that you're living. We have to get back to living with the earth. It is what it is. You have to learn to live with the earth, and we're not going to be living amongst species that is not us, but is literally destroying us from an infant state, growing all the way up to what you call an adult state. So this is what's happening on the planet, whether we want to face reality or not, but this is happening. And I told you this was happening a while ago. And now it's all coming to fruition. So I hope that you're ready, because if you got to get ready, you're gonna be one of the people that's out in the street, just like in the book of Eli, that's out here shit, and you're gonna do nothing but kill each other. It is what it is. Reality check. This has nothing to do with the purpose of the planet. This has everything to do with the shifting in the cosmos. And both of these eclipses up is telling you, hey, the planet is moving in a complete, total different direction. Abundance, my people, abundance. Listen, this video already push play on, right? And I want to thank this brother for putting this video out here. But I find the woman on TikTok who posted the video. So if anybody got the original video, you can send it to me and I can go further into this. But I just want you to understand that everything that people are starting to see today and that people are talking about today, I have told you about this. I have showed you this with my own camera. I showed you the pulsating sun. I told you that these other races of people on the planet is going to have neurological issues, which you don't understand. And I don't know how many times I got to say this and constantly repeat myself, that your brain is the most complex organism inside of you. Your brain controls all of your physical motor functions. Your brain does that. Nothing else. Nothing. Your ligaments doesn't compute to your brain. No, your peripheral nervous system computes with your central nervous system that sends electrical signals to your brain, and your brain sends signals to your limbs and organs for them to move and to move or to function. So I want you to listen to what this white woman have to say, and then I'm going to start the video over again. I don't need to play the brother's part because he's going into the train derailments. That's why I want this woman's video. I want the full video. I just want you to listen to what she has to say.
Wow, I finally have internet. So I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments. Are you experiencing like your phone not working in places that it totally should be working? And I'm here in Pennsylvania. I'm going to show you what this sun looks like. It is literally beating neon, and it's like pulsating. This air. We just had to take my son to a basketball game, and all the parents were talking about how as soon as they walked outside, they had headaches, they have stomach aches. My little son, 6 years old, he was fine all day. Oh, it's from the fires. A week later, or is it?
See, there's something going on. Pause. You heard what she said? They say, oh, it's from the fires. Oh, a week later. No, that's called ARS, acute radiation syndrome. And that's a direct result of ionized particles that are coming from the sun that is bonding with the atom molecules inside of everyone's anatomy on the planet. Now, what's happening is, and what the thing is, when it comes down to radiation, or more importantly, let's just say when it comes down to what you would consider ionized particles, when the ionized radiation interact with your anatomy, what happens is that your body doesn't get rid of that. That stays with you. It stays with you for the rest of your existence. The ionized radiation is not something that it comes into your body, you synthesize it or biosynthesize it, and then it moves on. No, it doesn't. That actually stays with physical issues, which you don't understand. I don't know how many times I gotta say this and constantly repeat myself, that your brain is the most complex organism inside of your body. Your brain controls all of your physical motor functions. Your brain does that. Nothing else. Nothing. Your ligaments doesn't compute to your brain. No, your peripheral nervous system computes with your central nervous system that sends electrical signals to your brain, and your brain sends signals to your limbs and organs for them to move and to move or to function. So I want you to listen to what this white woman have to say, and then I'm going to start the video over again. I don't need to play the brother's part because he's going into the train derailments. That's why I want this woman's video. I want the full video. I just want you to listen to what she has to say.
Wow, I finally have internet. So I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments. Are you experiencing like your phone not working in places that it totally should be working? And I'm here in Pennsylvania. I'm going to show you what this sun looks like. It is literally beating neon and it's like pulsating. This air. We just had to take my son to a basketball game and all the parents were talking about how as soon as they walked outside, they had headaches, they have stomach aches. My little son, 6 years old, he was fine all day. Oh, it's from the fires. A week later, or is it?
See, there's something.
Pause. You heard what she said? They say, "Oh, it's from the fires." Oh, a week later, no, that's called ARS, acute radiation syndrome, and that's a direct result of ionized particles that are coming from the sun that is bonding with the atom molecules inside of everyone's anatomy on the planet. Now, what's happening is, and what the thing is, when it comes down to radiation, or more importantly, let's just say, when it comes down to what you would consider ionized particles, when the ionized radiation interact with your anatomy, what happens is that your body doesn't get rid of that. That stays with you. It stays with you for the rest of your existence. The ionized radiation is not something that it comes into your body, you synthesize it or biosynthesize it, and then it moves on. No, it doesn't. That actually stays with you. And this is why I keep trying to tell y'all that these people on the planet are going to have way more complications than what you think. And they're going to have to kick something off so they can make it even, to make it look like it's everybody that is having or experiencing these problems when it comes down to AKA the weather outside, climate change, when it's really the sun. The sun is changing everyone's anatomy on this planet. UVC radiation have increased on the planet, and UVC radiation is a detoxifier and a germ. And the reason why UVC radiation has increased is because the ozone layer is being removed rapidly now. So again, you can go with mainstream and let them lie to you all you want, but the truth is all coming out right in front of you, and there's nothing you can do about it. So I'm gonna rewind this video and I'm gonna let it play again.
Around the world that, you know.
Wow, I finally have internet. So I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments. Are you experiencing like your phone not working in places that it totally should be working? And I'm here in Pennsylvania. I'm going to show you what this sun looks like. It is literally beating neon and it's like pulsating. This air. We just had to take my son to a basketball game and all the parents were talking about how as soon as they walked outside, they had headaches, they have stomach aches. My little son, 6 years old, he was fine all day. Oh, it's from the fires. A week later, or is it?
See, there's something.
Pause. Like I told you, my people, it is what it is. I showed you the pulsating sun many years ago, and I show it to you to this day. And people talking about, oh, it was something wrong with your camera. All the bots and trolls came out of nowhere. People that are hired to keep you distracted, all on social media. 75% of the accounts on social media are completely fake accounts, and they are there to keep the only one species distracted. Us, the organic species of this planet, because all other races of people already know that they don't belong here. They just have a hard time accepting the truth, and again, their truth lies within their DNA. So again, one thing that I will tell you, my people, I'm looking for somebody they can send me the full video of that woman. I know it's on TikTok, but I can't find it, nor am I really searching for it. But if y'all can send me the full video, so that way I can go further into what this is actually doing, you know what I'm saying? It's regarding the ionized particles and how it has residual effects that it actually has causes malignancy when it comes to cancer cells inside of the body. This is harmful. This is something that they do not what you would consider synthesize or biosynthesize. They do not convert that energy, and they don't convert that sunlight or them ionized particles into energy. They cannot do it. And this is sitting with them. And like I said, the children, because their immune system are weaker than an adult, the children and the elder is going to have the most problems, and they're going to scare a lot of people because the children are going to be so affected by this that people are going to go into a panic mode and listen to whatever the doctors are telling them and not realizing there's nothing that they can do about what's going on. I value, I appreciate y'all, each and every last one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? I'm not looking to be right about this. I'm always looking to be righteous. And because my heart is in the right place, and this all comes down to children, importantly, the protection of our children, that there is a group of species on this planet that was created and seated here by a group of species that sit in the shadow to do its bidding for them. And now that their time is at an end, the ozone layer was only placed here so the eukaryotic cell can exist on the planet. Now the ozone layer is being removed, and the eukaryotic cell is now having complications and trouble cellular structure wise to maintain its organism. So therefore, it's now breaking down at an accelerating rate. This is no hatred. This is scientific and biological facts. So again, you can look it up for yourself, my people. So all I say is this for anybody that seen this video with this woman on here, can you please send that video to me? I greatly appreciate it. And that way I'll go further regarding ionized radiation and the residual malignancy effects that it has on a human anatomy. Abundance and gratitude to you all. And I'm gonna start it over one more time so y'all can hear. I showed you the pulsating sun. I showed you the blue kachina. I showed you the green orb. I showed you the red sky. I showed you all of this. And now here we go. It's going down.
Going around the world.
Wow, I finally have internet. So I don't know about you guys. Let me know in the comments. Are you experiencing like your phone not working in places that it totally should be working? And I'm here in Pennsylvania. I'm going to show you what this sun looks like. It is literally neon and it's like pulsating. This air. We just had to take my son to a basketball game and all the parents were talking about how as soon as they walked outside, they had headaches, they have stomach aches. My little son, 6 years old, he was fine all day. Oh, it's from the fires. A week later, or is it?
See, there's something.
That's ionized radiation and the residual effects of malignancy cancer cells. They breaking down, people. Understand and overstand what's happening on this planet. This is our home, one of many, and the sun is separating us. You must have the blood of the sun and the consciousness of the universe or the awareness of the universe in order to move forward in what we call the Great Awakening, the Age of Aquarius. Abundance and gratitude to you all.
Going around the world.
My bad, guys. My bad. Let me go to the next one real quick. My bad. Let me go to the next one real quick. Hold on, bear with me. Give me 2 shakes of a lamb's tail. Hold on. Hold on, bear with me. Hold up. Let's go right here.
I'm officially ashamed to even be considered a white American. And it doesn't help that I'm fluorescent as fuck, as if Dracula had a love child with Casper the Ghost. You know, it's 2023, so if we can no longer identify with our biological gender, then I'm officially no longer identifying with my biological ethnicity, because I just found out the most messed up thing. And I strongly encourage you to do your own research into this and find out your own information. That way, like, you find it out for yourself. But this is what I just learned. George Washington, right? Do you know that there were indigenous Black people in the Americas, and they were Moorish Black people, and that the chopping of the cherry tree of George Washington was him officially cutting off their inheritance and their history from ever being remembered, and that he had written and said that in 200 years, if we remove the turbans from their heads, the sandals from their feet, and we make them think that they are just like any other Black people, that they will forget their entire history and their inheritance, and the fact that they are indigenous to the Americas. And did you know that our first peace treaty ever signed was with Morocco? And that if they had wanted their freedom, they could have had it, but they were never told of it, and so they were enslaved instead. Why can't we ever? Why can't? We're the worst. Like, we're the worst. Our history is a total lie of everything.
He said, "Can he move, goddamn?"
You did something by getting my accounts banned. You really think I care about this, even though I told you in a video earlier that I could care less about this social media. I have had 10 accounts banned, so what? My life does not revolve around social media. My life revolves around my planet that I have all the power in. I have all the power over you, and you don't even realize it. No, I may not have power over this platform that was invented by a man, but I sure do have power over all of the spirits. And everything you're doing, like I told you earlier, is only making it worse for you and every other pink person, because what 1 or 2 or 3 pink people do to me, I'm going to hold every pink person accountable for that. I'm going to treat you all the same, because there is no respect of persons with God. So just keep on pissing me off. I bet you.
Pause. Just so that you know, she ain't telling a French toast lie. See, I'm tired of my people fell in love with the word love and not understanding and overstanding what love really is. See, and I want other races of people to understand. I don't care if you drink tea. I don't care if you never owned a slave. I don't care if you ever abused a Black person or not. The people that share your genetic makeup that looks just like you are abusing us. And when one person, 1, 2, or 3 do to us, whether you leave a negative comment on social media, whether you have a negative thought about us, whether you have a negative action about us, when one of you, 2 or 3 of you do that, all of you are being held accountable as one unit, as one family. The sun is not saying, okay, let me look at this person. This Asian person is cool. This Arab person is cool. This individual white person is cool. No, it's not. It's saying all of you are being held accountable. And this is the universe is speaking right now. And she's telling the sun to hold the SUN in the sky, hold them all accountable. Point blank and simple. And this is when I tell y'all, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. You see, this is a woman that knows who she is. Like she said, she may not have power over this platform that y'all all run. YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. No, y'all can have Facebook. Y'all got all that. But guess what? That's only a smidge of control. You don't have no control. We allow you to run around and give you the illusion of control. Now it's time to pay for what you all have done or set aside and capitulated or stay silent and watch get done. as you lived off of the blood money, as you lived off of the psychological genocide of the organic mother and her star seeds of this planet. See, when God speaks, the entire universe listen. When the cosmos speak, the entire universe is listening. So again, so you can sit back and you can say, oh, this is racist all you want. But let me explain something to you. Until you can find a black man, a so-called black man that came from the stars, that murdered 274,000 so-called women, children, and men worldwide on the planet. Worldwide. First of all, 2 continents. Australia and Brazil was nothing but so-called black people. So when you can find a black man that went and murdered 274,000 per day, 1.9 million a week, you understand that? And then turn around and give them an education system, a political system, an economic system, a judicial system, a medical system. When you can find one that did that, and then turn around and gave you a religion and gave you Christmas, Thanksgiving, Black History Month, and when you can find one so-called black man that did that, then you can tell me I'm racist or I have hatred in my heart. But until then, you all are going to be judged, and your judgment is happening right now, starting with the S-U-N in the sky. Listen to God speak one more time. Listen to God speak one more time.
Pink people really think you did something by getting my accounts banned. You really think I care about this, even though I told you in a video earlier that I could care less about this social media. I have had 10 accounts banned, so what? My life does not revolve around social media. My life revolves around my planet that I have all the power in. Yes. I have all the power over you, and you don't even realize it. No, I may not have power over this platform that was invented by a man, but I sure do have power over all of the spirits. And everything you're doing, like I told you earlier, is only making it worse for yourself and every other pink person. Because what 1 or 2 or 3 pink people do to me, I'm going to hold every pink person accountable for that. I'm going to treat you all the same, because there is no respect of persons with God. So just keep on pissing me. I bet you.
That's it. So just keep on doing what you're doing, not only to the mother of humanity, but Mother Earth and Mother Nature. Continue to do what you do and keep talking about, I didn't participate in that. You are just as guilty. You are just as guilty as your brothers and sisters that sit up there in the White Houses and them penthouses and your lawmakers. You are just as guilty. And guess what? Judgment is here for each and every last one of you. And those that can't see the judgment, you damn sure can feel it. Can't you tell that sun is different? Can't you feel it? You don't even want to walk out underneath the sun. Your animals, your unnatural animals, your dogs, your cats, they don't even want to walk out underneath the sun. You are begging that the clouds cover up the sun. You are hoping that this will go back to how it was 200 years ago, 100 years ago, and 25 years ago. The one thing that we're going to say, and a lot of my brothers on this planet don't realize, that women are going to touch down here. And the one thing that they're going to say to the other race, show me your God now. And every so-called black man that joined this system, this psychological totalitarian system, to continue to put a chain, an invisible chain on the right hemisphere of the brain of our people, your ass is going to be dealt with. You have to...
Gonna be dealt with. You're gonna be dealt with, whether you like it, motherfucker not. Whether you like it or motherfucker not, you will be dealt with.
Paints a vivid picture of the streets in Chinese cities where countless individuals find their resting places under bridges or on park benches adjacent to basketball courts. These individuals, largely comprised of the unemployed, as revealed by local netizens who post these videos, are forced to sleep on the streets due to a lack of job opportunities and monetary resources. In the early hours of the morning, at around 3 a.m., a similar scene unfolds at Beijing Children's Hospital in China's capital city, where people sleep on the ground or rest on benches. In China, these scenes of people sleeping on the streets are generally concealed. The government, in an attempt to mask the issue of homelessness, dispatches police to apprehend these individuals and uses fire extinguishers or high-pressure water hoses to disperse them. This practice has provoked cynicism amongst netizens with comments such as, "In China, even the freedom to be homeless is denied." A homeless man in his 30s was arrested on the street by police, a sight that drew sympathetic remarks from netizens, one of whom noted, "The look in his eyes is so heart-wrenching." In Shenzhen, jobless individuals who resort to sleeping on streets are driven away by security personnel with fire extinguishers.
I am currently located in the underground passageway on the first floor of Shenzhen Longhua bus station. During the day, these grounds are dry, but they become wet at night. Why? Because the government has installed sprinklers overhead. The purpose of these sprinklers? To deter workers and homeless individuals without the means for accommodations who sleep here at night, detracting from the city's image. Sprinklers are not only installed in the underground area of the first floor, but also in the shops below. These wet conditions leave these workers and homeless individuals with no place to hide, forcing them to leave.
Longtime volunteer and advocate for the homeless, Mr. Lee water sprinklers to prevent people from sleeping. Churches help by arranging meals. Another netizen reveals this year, the number of homeless people in Jing'an, Shandong is the highest I've seen in my lifetime. This year, China's economy has been continuously sluggish, leading to an unprecedented deterioration in employment. The youth unemployment rate announced by the National Bureau of Statistics of China in June reached a historic high of 21.3%. However, an article published by the mainland financial media Caixin reported a study led by scholar Zhang Dandan from Peking University. The study concluded that if the
Donald Trump recently warned that the
study concluded that if the 60 million lying flat or NEET non-workers are counted as unemployed, the actual unemployment rate among young people under 24 years old in March this year will be as high as 46.5%, significantly higher than the official figures released by China. The discrepancy between the numbers provided by Peking University scholars and the official Chinese figures primarily arises from the inclusion of 60 million young people who choose to live off their parents and not seek employment. In official statistics, these 60 million individuals are considered non-labor force population. According to a report by Radio Free Asia, Lai Rongwei, the executive director of the Taiwan Inspiration Association, claimed that the Chinese authorities have evidently falsified youth unemployment rates. Friends teaching in mainland China reported that the government is pressuring schools to present a rosy picture of the unemployment situation. Lai Rongwei explained many schools have been adopting more lenient policies. For instance, if a student works or tutors for an hour a week, they are not considered unemployed. If they can't even find an hour of tutoring, teachers have to find ways through personal connections or relatives working in companies to let students sign up for a fictitious job. The student is not really working there. This is a form of falsification. China's labor market is fiercely competitive, coupled with a sluggish economy, low social mobility, and a lack of good job opportunities. An increasing number of disillusioned young people are finding themselves in a bind. They choose to lie flat, becoming full-time children, staying home to work for their parents, and receiving wages from them. A new term, slacking off, has become popular among the youth. It conveys a deeper sense of pessimism and a fundamental lack of effort. The 4 no's have also become popular among young people. No dating, no marriage, no buying a house, and no to children. Huang Yichen, a young person persecuted for participating in China's white paper movement, noted that many of his peers who graduated from Ivy League schools in the US returned home to become 4 no's youth. Despite their excellent educational backgrounds, they are struggling to find their place in a China plagued by economic decline and high unemployment. Huang Yichen's opinion is young people in China today do not see hope for a future. Under the rule of the Communist Party, all important positions in politics and the economy in China are occupied by those born in the 1950s. Even those born in the 60s have little space, let alone those born in the 70s, 80s, or 90s. So, just how severe is China's unemployment situation? Analysts believe that the youth unemployment rate, typically for those aged 15 to 24, is usually 2 to 3 times the average unemployment rate in most countries. If we base our calculations on the youth unemployment rate of 46.5%, we can roughly estimate that the unemployment rate in China's cities exceeds 20%. This does not even take into account rural China, as farmers are not included in the statistical scope. A Chinese truck driver revealed that truck drivers can't find work for 3 to 5 days now. With a bunch of idle trucks in the parking lot and struggling to afford food, he is filled with worry. Many Chinese who cannot find jobs opt to work as drivers for ride-hailing services. But a Shanghai-based driver disclosed that ride fares are very low currently, and with a surplus of cars and shortage of passengers, over 100 drivers sometimes compete for a single order. The job market in China is tight. A female university graduate chose to return to her hometown to start a pig farming business. However, an outbreak of swine fever crushed her dreams, leaving her crying at the sight of her last 2 dying piglets. She lamented over the wasted efforts and investment of the past 6 months, likening to the stones sinking to the bottom of the sea. Though it was hard to accept, she was forced to accept it. What does an unemployment rate exceeding 20% signify? The Great Depression of the last century in the United States provides an illustration. In 1930, the unemployment rate was 8.7%, rose to 15.9% in 1931, and peaked at 24.9% in 1933. At the same time, international trade dropped by 50%. 90,000 factories closed in the US. Real estate investment fell by 70%, and the overall price level declined by 30%. Now, industrialized countries rarely experience such high unemployment rates, as there are rich financial and fiscal experiences to counteract depression, and basic welfare systems are more robust. Welfare expenditures help maintain consumption, preventing a first wave of joblessness from immediately shrinking consumption, closing more factories and deepening unemployment in a spiral. In developed countries, sustained unemployment rates above 10% can have serious political and social consequences. China's current situation is more akin to the 1930s in industrialized countries, with weak welfare expenditures that fail to maintain a basic decent living standard for the unemployed, leading to clear crowding out effect on consumption. Unemployment could trigger a sharp drop in consumption, which in turn could lead to more unemployment. However, China, an authoritarian regime, controls crisis through strict information and personnel control. George Magnus, author of Red Flags, Why Xi's China is in Jeopardy, believes that work for young people is critical, as youth unemployment can harm both society and the economy. Moreover, the biggest issue unemployed young people face is the so-called scarring. Risk identified by economists. The longer young people stay out of the official labor market, the more their skills and experience atrophy, making it more challenging to re-enter the workforce. With over 11 million new graduates entering China's labor market in July, the pressure of employment is unprecedented, and the issue of youth unemployment will become more severe. The China Macroeconomic Forum, CMF, which serves as a weather vane, reported that China's youth unemployment problem is no longer cyclical, but systemic and trend-like. It is predicted that China's youth unemployment issue might persist for 10 years, intensifying in the short term. If mishandled, it could lead to issues outside the economic sphere and even become a fuse for political problems. The main reasons for the
pause. Now, listen, I'm done with that. I mean, the whole gist of this is that I
from 7 kidnappers. This true story happened in June 2005 when a young Ethiopian girl was walking home from school. The men approached and abducted the child and held her hostage for a week. One of her adult abductors even planned on marrying her. The police raced to the kidnapper's last known location, a remote hideaway backed up to the jungle. When they arrived, they were shocked by what they saw. 3 black-maned lions guarded the whimpering little girl. The kidnappers were gone. Based on witness accounts and the girl's own testimony, the lions noticed the kidnappers brutally harming her and immediately came to her rescue. They chased off the kidnappers and stayed with the girl for half a day until the police arrived. The lions never touched the girl, and Sergeant Wandamu Wedajo said, "They stood guard until we found her, and then they just left her like a gift and went back into the forest." Everyone thinks this is some kind of miracle because normally the lions would attack people. The reason for the lions' behavior is disputed. Some wildlife experts believe the lions planned on eating the girl. Others argue that the lions associated her whimpering with a baby lion. In Ethiopia and around the world, the story has largely been praised as a modern-day miracle. A pride of lions rescued a 12-year-old girl from 7 kidnappers. This true story happened.
So, pause. Let me say this to y'all real fast, right? First of all, they say wildlife experts. Let's just start. So who's the wildlife expert? Is it people that are not native to our planet that goes in and study and research our animals and then come draw their own conclusion? Because the organic people that was from there, Sergeant Wambe, stated that the lion stood guard of her, and then as we approached, they went off into the jungle. So they stated, now wildlife experts stated that they was planning to eat her, of course, because they have no connection to the planet. They have no biological identification to the planet. See, nature is an extension of us. This is why in the movie, in a song, Bob Marley, it said Top Ranking, the song Top Ranking. It says our blood runs through our lions. And then you have Orion Belt. You have 3 lion heads and Orion Belt. So, and then what you have with these artificial people, killing lions and hunting them down and destroy and using it as trophies, and they're wearing their coat, wearing their manes. See, they kill everything that's natural, everything that we have a divine connection to, and then they try to minimize or try to make the lions out to be violent predators and say that lions would normally attack people. No, you have people that walk through certain parts of Africa all day in nature that walks with lions, that interact with lions consistently. Lions, hyenas, elephants. You don't see no chains. You don't hear about brutal attacks. You don't hear none of that. Now you do hear about a lion coming into the village and killing maybe a cow or goat or something like that. But as far as attacking humans, no, you don't hear any of that. Let's not even say humans because we're not human. But attacking us, you don't hear none of that. Even when the female in New York jumped inside the cage, the lions then with the lion and started dancing in front of the lion, and the lion stood there and watched her. And they stated that, oh, the reason why the lion didn't attack her because he had already ate. That don't have nothing to do with that. I showed plenty of videos where as though when a male lion that was inside of a cage, and a white guy had food inside of his hand, a big piece of meat, and the white boy threw the meat over the fence to the lion. The lion didn't even flinch. He didn't even go for the meat. He stayed focused on the white man the entire time. He stayed focused on him the entire time. So listen, people, this is just one of many amazing, remarkable stories that goes on all across this planet. More importantly, in Africa, because they always want to try to break our divine connection to everything that's in nature. And nature listens to us. Nature follows our orders. But because we have been out of tune with self, because we have been destroying self and contributing to the destruction of the planet, nature has literally pretty much turned its back on a majority of us. But nature literally is submissive to us. We place nature here to do the things that they have created slaves to do. Understand that nature maintains the maintenance on the earth. We didn't have to go. We didn't have to create a group of people in order to keep the jungle clean and keep the ecosystem going. These people did that. They keeping their system going, which goes against the natural laws of the cosmos. I'm gonna let this play one more time, my people. This is an amazing, magnificent, supreme story. Note, it was 7 guys, and then it was 3 male lions that came to this young lady rescue, chased the males off, and stayed guard and protected her. Here we go.
In June 2005, when a young Ethiopian girl was walking home from school, the men approached and abducted the child and held her hostage for a week. One of her adult abductors even planned on marrying her. To the kidnapper's last known location, a remote hideaway backed up to the jungle. When they arrived, they were shocked by what they saw. 3 black-maned lions guarded the whimpering little girl. The kidnappers were gone. Based on witness accounts and the girl's own testimony, the lions noticed the kidnappers brutally harming her and immediately came to her rescue.
Pause. Based on witnesses and the girl's own testimony, she said the lions came and chased the males off and sat with her. Now again, environmental experts going to say they were just waiting to eat her. Oh, cut it the French toast out. Here we go.
They chased off the kidnappers and stayed with the girl for half a day until the police arrived. The lions never touched the girl, and Sergeant Wandamu Wedajo said, "They stood guard until we found her, and then they just left her like a gift and went back into the forest."
Sergeant, I don't want to mess his name up, Wandamu Magambo, that is native to the land, stated that it was like it was divine. It was divine, like it was a miracle from God to them. Like, they literally stood guard of her, and when we approached, they just went off into the jungle and left her there for us. Now, if the lions was going to eat her, they would have been attacked her. When they chased the males off, they would attack and ate her right away. That girl, I bet you she even petted the lions. I promise you, she even rubbed the lions. She petted them. And they made sure that she was safe. But they want to tell you that they was just preparing to eat her because they have no connection to nothing here on this planet other than the dog.
Everyone thinks this is some kind of miracle because normally the lions would attack people. The reason for the lions' behavior is disputed. Some wildlife experts believe the lions planned on eating the girl. Others argue...
You hear this shit? Wildlife experts. Now, who are the wildlife experts? Huh? Who is that? Huh? Who are the wildlife experts? Could it be the artificial race? Huh? Come on now, cut it out.
Lions associated her whimpering with a baby lion. In Ethiopia and around the world, the story has largely been praised as a modern-day miracle. A pride of lions.
Abundance to you all, my people. Understand something and overstand. Hold on. Pause.